Welcome to Energy Vista, a podcast where we make experts great again, contribute actively to the public debate and policy making around commodities, the geopolitics of energy, and trade. I'm your host, Leslie Palti-Guzman. It's December 5, 2025, and time for a new Energy Vista episode. Today we're going to discuss European energy security, transatlantic relations, and the feasibility of a return of Russian gas in bigger proportion of Russian gas into Europe. My guest is Thierry Bro, an energy and climate expert, an advisor, and a professor with 3 decades of experience. I'm very pleased to receive him, and the conversation will be in French. Before we jump in, I'm going to frame the conversation. The question of the day is so crucial. Is Europe's ostracism of Russian gas irreversible? I use the word ostracism in reference to ancient Greece, where a citizen deemed dangerous was exiled because it was too dangerous for the democracy. Today, Russia and its energy exports have been banned by Western countries because they threaten international order and European security, notably by prolonging the war in Ukraine, and they have also stimulated an axis of bad actors where Russia is collaborating on military and intelligence with China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. So the answer matters because the implications are economic, geopolitical, industrial. It will shape future alliances, energy and infrastructure investments, and trade flows. The possibility of Russian gas returning comes up whenever there are peace negotiations ongoing on Ukraine. Why? Because a doubt remains. Is Europe truly better off without Russian gas, which is close, abundant, and historically affordable for European industry? Europe is not fully convinced that alternatives are as competitive. And Europe's economy has suffered from higher gas prices and the resulting pressure on industrial activity. The arguments I hear in favor of bringing Russian gas back are threefold. And by the way, I don't believe in all those arguments, and I will discuss it further in the podcast. One argument for advocating in favor of the return of Russian gas is one, it would reverse Europe's industrial decline and restore its competitiveness. Two, avoiding another dependence, notably with American gas. And some voices in Europe are concerned about the America First agenda. Third, creating, and that's mostly in the US that we hear this argument, creating a strategic wedge between Russia and China. And that assumes that China is the main long term competitor and that reintegrating Russia into Europe and the G8 will serve that goal. But deeper questions remain. One is about ethics and morality versus economic interest. Russia is not a moral actor and doesn't share the same values as the transatlantic partners. It started a war, unprovoked, and a war of aggression. Two, economic interdependence did not prevent the invasion of Ukraine, and Russia under Vladimir Putin is unlikely to change. Meanwhile, the US is offering carrots, incentives, and business deals to shape Russia's future choices, including we hear about Arctic deals in the Arctic and potential American corporate and energy actors' re-engagement with Russia. Europe, for its part, is moving toward a full phase out of Russian gas. It has even advanced its deadlines and plan to eliminate all Russian LNG and pipeline imports by the end of 2027. Whether it will be permanent is still uncertain. Interestingly, the current administration believes that even with peace and a limited amount of Russian gas back into Europe, Europeans will continue buying US LNG. At least it counters the claim that since the shale gas revolution, Washington's only goal has been to sell its gas to Europe. Yet this creates Also, a contradiction in the American agenda. Because for sure, if Russian gas returns above current levels, US LNG will lose some market share. So, what do I think? One, that trust is broken. But Europe is not monolithic. Some countries like Poland, Lithuania, Finland, and Ukraine will never import Russian gas again. Others like Germany, Italy, and France may be tempted. Two, there is probably no new long-term contracts with Russia. Most spot sales are like some spot sales are possible, as well as increased exports of maybe blue ammonia, like before the war started. There were discussion about this, or hydrogen, more fertilizers. For existing contracts or contracts that have not expired and are still in arbitration, compensation in kind could emerge as a solution. Third, growing divisions between Europeans and Americans are possible, and that I will expand later on this one. And four, the timing favors Europe. The market is shifting toward oversupply, reducing the importance of Russian gas. But a big unknown is the future demand from European data center, for example. And where will this added required electricity come from? Will Europe need Russian gas to stay competitive in the AI race or in the mineral race? Russia still aims to weaken NATO, divide Europe, and undermine the transatlantic partnership. It would be naive to give Putin another chance and another chance and another chance. But it seems that the US is doing just that right now, or maybe it's reverse psychology applied to real politics.